past night, sleep eluded me. No matter how much I tried, I kept tossing and turning. What was even more disconcerting, I was experiencing troubling signs of jitters, as my hands had literally on and off begun shaking a while back. I had to admit to myself that the last couple of months had not done my nerves any favors. I found my way out of bed and attempted to get back to work, pretending that it was any other ordinary day. However, it would prove to be anything but.
Hello. Where are the guys now?
Sleeping.
Okay. Gotcha.
As Eve and I were on the road looking for supplies, and in particular keeping an eye out for medical equipment, we came across a familiar face.
Incoming.
What?
Incoming. They saw me.
Alright, well, let's say hi.
Howdy.
Everything's good. How about
Hi.
you, man? Oh, Bastian. Hey.
Yeah, howdy.
Haven't seen you in a while. Let me see. Is this Harold?
Yep.
Hey, Harold. It's Robin Burley.
Nice to meet you again, Robin. Yeah, I haven't exactly been running around on the roads for the most part. Stick to the wood.
I gotcha. Alright. Well, nice to see you. I've been wondering where you've been.
This guy got robbed and he lost most of his medical equipment, so I'm just walking around with him while he checks the hospitals out down south.
I gotcha. What's your name, man?
Pretty good. Dr. Ernest Schultz.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you. I hope everything works out. Sorry you got robbed.
Of course, it's just our luck. Here's a doctor that might cater to our needs for Glenn's plan, but naturally he had lost all his medical equipment. Figures.
How you guys holding up, Robin?
We're
doing good.
we're based pretty much in that direction. Over by
Cougar Town, yeah.
yeah, I mean we're based just before you reach the bridges that lead to
Bridge.
Cougar Town. Yeah, that's our compound.
Yeah. I know they've been having some trouble. You guys doing okay?
Yeah, we've so
I
far.
have to go to sleep, so I will talk to you later, Robin.
All right. Well, take care, honey. Love ya. All right. Yeah, she's my girlfriend. We haven't really had any problems yet. You know, knock on wood. We've just been taking care of ourselves mostly. Got another member yesterday, actually. So we're one member away from reaching
Full status?
yeah.
I know I'm after our whole issue with the fall, I'm one member away currently as well. I've still got some of the old ones with me.
Oh, all right. Anybody I know?
Nigel's there along with Quentin and Ben. Corey also split off. He split off to help Michael out, so I know Corey and me are still on good terms, though.
Okay.
Dobby's gone and so.
Yeah, I heard that too. But I was thinking about Corey. There was some concerns that he was going to join the Arbiters. You know anything about that?
Oh, he joined them.
Oh, he did? Oh, for fuck's sake, okay. I didn't think that was his thing, but okay.
Yeah. I knew how things were going, so I told him, like, I wouldn't hold him against him. I was giving him the option to leave right now if he wanted, and he was very iffy about it, but he decided to in the end.
Okay.
Corey joined the Arby's. How about that? Of course, since Michael and him both had been in Bastion, and Michael split to join the Arbiters, it wasn't too much of a stretch to imagine Corey hopping along as well. Though, I was still a little bit surprised by this information, as Corey didn't seem to have that typical, how should I say, moral ambiguity that most Arbiters were known for.
Yeah.
Does Curry have a very extreme British accent?
No,
Corey is
he's Aussie.
Australian, I believe.
Yeah. The one who has
Michael is Irish.
The one with the extreme British accent, that's Alex Woods, though I haven't seen him in a while.
Who is he? Is he?
He was with the Arbiters, and I think he still is, but I don't think that they like him that much either, because I've heard that there's been like some internal, like Alex Woods tend to be like one of the wilder ones, and I think even Dobby chastised him once.
It's kind of rich coming from Dobby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, one Arbiter tried to stop him from trying to kill me.
Oh.
Dobby?
So, the British.
The British guy.
Oh,
Alex, yeah. Appreciate it. It's nice to see you again, man. I've been, I've been missing you and wondering what's been happening to you and all that.
How much free time do you have right now? Like, what are you up to?
I do have a little time, so I'm not in a rush or anything.
Since Harold had never been inside our compound, we decided to head back to Burleyville and catch up. He informed me that he was in the market for medical equipment, and I deduced that he was doing something similar to what Glenn was doing. It seemed like people were taking all the precautions they could these days, as Warlock had been going hard with broadcasting his messages about the day of his gift being fast approaching.
Oh, this is where you guys?
Yeah, welcome to Burleyville.
I passed by this a few
Oh my
days.
god. 3 gazebos.
I know. This is sort of like our reception area, you know? Meditation, you know?
Fine.
This is the main pavilion. Feel free to sit down. Yeah. If you need any food or any drinks, there's the minibar over there.
I got a bunch of smoked beef on me and some.
Okay.
So I've got 3 thermoses in a. I've got 3 thermoses in a canteen.
I gotcha. All right, keep talking. I'm just gonna light the fire.
Harold told me that his current concerns revolved around Jamestown and New Haven. Apparently, these 2 settlements were into some shady shit.
The leader of New Haven, Millie Winston.
Yeah.
She initially came to us for housing. At that, we were actually completely full. This was during our initial phase, very long time ago. So we sent her to a town called Blackstone, on the tip of land near Stonington.
Okay.
Some stuff happened there, I don't know. Eventually she became friends with Luella. And she kind of started turning into a mini-me, except she was more cowardly. But eventually, there was an instance where we made an alliance, right? BCAF. It was a big project to try and A, build a council of faction leaders in the South. B, set up some form of pseudo-government to manage all the members while leaving factions still independent. And C, defensive pacts and all that. We had groups called the Greater Vanguard, the Wolf Pack, Bastion, the Underground. I believe that the Wardens might. I don't know if the Wardens went on it, but I know we had several.
Okay, this is old
Several
school.
people from the. Yeah, this ties into like what happens right afterward.
All right.
Some people from the underground go and start building up in Sunset Cross. Iris Genovese and the original Sunset Cross people.
Okay.
That was originally going to be the headquarters for the BCAF. That wasn't going to be a town on its own. Now, some internal shit happened in the underground, right? Where.
Ah, good old Harold. As usual, he had to take aim all the way back at the Jurassic Age when conveying something, and have it take an hour or 2 before he gets to the fucking point. But it was nice to sit down with him again, even if it meant getting showered in an overload of information. By the time Rory showed up, Harold had still not gotten to the point, but was now instead locked into reciting the entire history of Jamestown, Bastion, and the Riders.
It's funny because it's only because of her that he actually ended up joining the Riders. If not for her in Jamestown, like, that wouldn't have happened. And I actually had the pleasure of speaking with him before he joined the Riders. And
hey, bro.
he liked Jamestown, but he wasn't happy with Luella. But yeah, back to the subject at hand, right?
Yeah.
They up and leave.
Oh, Harold. He'd started to remind me so very much of a certain motor-mouthed character I once knew. Don't get me wrong, Harold always had a lot of useful information, but when he starts to name drop around 10 people who I have absolutely no idea who they all are, I kind of am seeing a little bit of Triple M 2.0 in there. I counted Harold as a really good friend, and he had imparted invaluable tidbits of knowledge over the months, but sitting down with him was always a little bit like waiting for your grandpappy to finish up the story about them good old days. Eventually, though, Harold would reach the meat of the matter.
They've done. Now, this ties into New Haven because Millie's very good friends with the Weller. There have been Jamestown members that have been robbing people, and they've been claiming, "Oh, that's not us," but literally someone from Lamplight went down to trade some PDAs, and 2 people with Jamestown armbands right outside their castle held him up and took him. There's been multiple reports of, people have been saying that Jamestown folk have been robbing people for a bit. Some of the people I've been talking to for a good while now, last few weeks. And now New Haven's doing it.
So is it confirmed that New Haven has been robbing?
I believe it is, as I don't think anyone's stolen their armbands and is using them currently.
Has anybody talked to Millie about
would
this?
follow it. Someone sent Millie a message over the radio asking if this threat was actually from New Haven, if it was really a declaration of war from JT. I have got no fucking idea what's going on there, like if they're falling apart or something.
Alright.
So, Jamestown had allegedly been seen robbing people, and New Haven were implied to be moving in the same direction. Maybe the old corruption left by the Pathfinders in Cushville had spread both further south and east to the point where our old home region was again a location for hostilities. Even if it was totally unrelated, I knew there had been something fishy with New Haven back when we saw that whole burning effigy thing in Oceanville. That had never gotten an explanation, and it could be that New Haven had turned over a new leaf. From burgeoning friendly settlement to a den of cultists, or cutthroats, or perhaps both. But once again, word of mouth was always to be taken with a grain of salt. So far, this was just gossip, and I intended to treat it as such.
Oh yeah, this is our newest member. Say hello to D-Mac.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing good. Okay. Having a bit of a summit here in the meditation pavilion.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, hope I'm not intruding.
Nah.
Okay.
No.
Don't worry.
It's a public enough conversation, I guess.
Yeah. Rehashing old tales. Yeah, but that's good. I feel like I want us to be able to contact you more, because sometimes we really need to relay some information to you.
I've always got a battery in this. If I'm awake and you call me on the radio, I'll hear it.
Alright, awesome. Okay, well, it's good to see you again, man. As I said.
Yeah.
Definitely nice to know I have more than a couple of friends. Lamplight and I are still pretty good, and I know I've got a few friends here and there.
Yeah, you won't lose us,
Hey man,
man.
what's the name of your group?
Bastion.
Yeah, they're Bastion.
Bastion. Alright, cool. Well, it's nice to meet you guys. Y'all be safe.
Me
Have
too.
safe travels.
Alright, take
Have a
care,
good one,
guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Good grief, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done.
Come on.
After Rory and D-Mac wrapped up their morning workout session of trying to mop the floor with each other, we had sort of an informal town meeting. Just a little conversation of things happening right now.
Alright, tell you what, guys. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I've started the well here. Started to dig the well here. We kind of need 4 mortar mixes to get the base structure complete, and then we will be able to pick up water from here. Like, just get a new. This is going to be our water supply.
Yeah.
That'd be real handy.
Yeah.
After some casual conversation, Rory mentioned that he had encountered Michael from the Arbiters just recently.
Back and all that shit.
I gotcha. What did Mike say? Did he have anything interesting to to tell you?
No, nothing in particular. He's just like, oh, hey, oh, you guys are Burleys. Okay, yeah. He knew us from the armband immediately, and then he remembered me from my voice. I was like, damn, I've only met this guy like one time. How the fuck did he remember that?
Oh, that's so interesting because when I was with Eve and we ran into their group over at Duskar Island, he actually said, "Oh, you're a Burley. No, you're not that Burley." He was like referring to you.
Oh, yes.
Maybe he likes you.
Must have liked your voice.
Oh, wait, is he the guy that I flirted with?
Finally, we summarized what information Harold had shared with us.
The most important thing is that Jamestown and Bastion don't like each other because how they treated Harold. And then also that New Haven might be up to banditry. And that is
I think
interesting.
that's adorable. I mean, only one or two of them gave me any inclination that they knew how to use a fucking gun. Yep.
See you guys.
As the sun was setting, D-Mac and Rory both went on home to sort some shit and then head to bed. I decided to stay up for a while, trying to get my head straight and calm my hands by working on the fence, which was fastly coming along. However, I had no idea what that night would have in store for me. You see, this was it. At long last, Warlock's gift began to spread. I was checking on the supplies in the gazebo before heading to bed, when suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, the darkness seemed alive with movement, red pinpricks of light drawing my attention to it. And then I heard it. The voice. My blood froze immediately, as did I. I was wide in the open, not able to run indoors and hide, not able to run away. They'd already seen me. I was trapped. I could see mutant silhouettes against the night, beyond the gate, even perched on top of Eve's house, which told me something of their abilities. With no other option available to me, and with every sense of my being screaming at me to find the nearest rock and crawl in under it, I went over to the gate.
I am here.
Greetings. Today is glorious day. Our Lord has completed his mission, and so sent us out to divide his gift. I come to you to offer you that gift. Do with it what you will.
It took me a while to realize the man, or whatever it was that was standing on the other side of the gate, he wasn't actually speaking. Instead, all around me, it seemed like the creatures were mouthing an echo of his words. And then I remembered what Spirit and Glenn both had told me about how when one of them dies, their voice is simply added to the choir.
He is dead only in form. His voice is still heard.
And they speak in tongues, like whispers, but they're all in unison.
And not only that, what if that was why they were called the Collective? Several beings, one voice. His. Regardless of who the physical individual standing before the gate was, or had once been, there was no question in my mind. The creature was the one addressing me, but for all intents and purposes, I could feel that I was in the very real presence of the number one feared and hated individual across Deer Isle. Dex's corruptor, Warlock himself. It was his will I was facing, his intentions, his suggestive voice. A multitude of emotions washed over me. Mind-numbing fear and blinding rage were all but kept down in this moment. All I wanted to do was to reach for the G-36 and blow its brains out, or at the very least beat it to a pulp for what the Collective had done to us. I knew now the steel-cold pain Rory must have been feeling every time he thought of Warlock. It was excruciating. But I knew the moment I did it, I would not survive. The freaks that surrounded the gate and straddled the roof of the right side building would cut me down instantly. With no other choice, I adopted a different tactic, and perhaps one which would see me survive this. A tactic that I was well versed in, and which had kept me alive so far. I began talking.
I understand. O great beings of Deer Isle, this offering has me a little bit terrified, and I must confess I have doubt. I would like to confer with my family before anything happens.
Warlock's proxy asked me if I could open the gates and freely let them in, establishing a friendship for all to see. It must have noticed me eyeing the stalkers on the rooftop, because it caught my wary glance and addressed the issue before I could even say anything.
If you are worried about the angels, we shall tell them to retreat.
I was getting desperate. The fear in me was starting to stir. If I wasn't careful, I'd have another panic attack. But there was also no way in hell I was going to let them inside our walls. If they wanted to come inside, they'd have to jump the fence. The memory of Dex was still burning bright in my mind, and it demanded from me to not give them any allowance. Friendship? With the collective? Hell no. Even though I was choosing my words carefully in order to appease the threat and diffuse the potential danger, I sure as hell wasn't going to make anything easy for them.
We cannot really acquiesce to that at this time. We would like to have some time to think about this.
You come outside, at least so I can give you the gift. Would you prefer it? I leave it in front of the gate.
At first, I was disgusted by the idea of even accepting the serum. This was the unnatural crap that had turned Dex, and which had indirectly been the cause of Rory's choice to put him down. But, in the back of my mind, there was always this voice which called for reason. Think about it. If I got my hands on Warlock's serum, we had in our possession a giant piece of the puzzle. And if we handed it over to Harold or Glenn for study, it could lead to the end of the mutant plague. As long as I didn't have to voluntarily let them in, what was there to lose? I stayed quiet for a moment, then I gave him my answer.
You may proceed to leave it in front of the gate, so I may inspect it at my own time. If that is... if it works.
We do not expect this decision to be made lightly. For once you tread its path, there is no leaving.
Yeah, I kind of figure.
And remember, do with it what you will. This is a gift. You may dispose of it, you may hoard it, you may give it to another. As long as you tell them of our holy, that is all we care. Today is a glorious day for humanity.
Message received and understood.
Come, angels, we have many more to give you the gift to.
Oh dear God.
I stood still for the longest of times, rooted to that spot, paralyzed by the encounter, just listening, making sure that I could hear no more footsteps, no rustling leaves, no nothing, before I even dared to move. I couldn't even blink, but I could feel my hands shaking like crazy, and my breath came in shallow gasps. My heartbeat was like a locomotive, racing at full steam. I tried calming myself, but it was to no avail. My nerves had yet again been shaken up, severely this time. Coming face to face with the very people responsible for Dex's horrific fate, beholding them in all of their grotesqueness, and being forced to talk to them was almost more than I could bear.
Holy shit.
I'd almost not believed it, but there they were, as sure as Warlock's proxy had proclaimed.
Oh my god.
I feared these syringes, not only for what they held, but also for what they represented. The final nail in the coffin, the potential for a new breed, the dawning of a new age, and the end of humanity as the dominant species. The Zulu virus had already obliterated our stagnant societies and forced us to fight for survival, but the mindless viral carriers were now more nuisances than anything else. A threat, but a threat you adapted to, as humans always did. The serum, however, we still knew precious little about it, but the sheer potential was a solid game changer. After having stared into the darkness for 15 minutes and just realized what had happened, I reached out to Rory over comms. As Rory came over dressed in all black, I noticed once again that he had left his armband at home, something which usually would get me miffed. But, to be honest, it was now more of a reflexive observation for my part than anything else. Rory was obviously trying to make the utmost of the cover of darkness, and this night I most definitely approved. He told me that D-Mac was away on some nightly errand, and he was apparently also dressed just as incognito. He was expected, however, to show up momentarily. Also, because he was the new guy, I could cut him some slack too. I wasn't going to argue about colony dress codes, because armbands were the least of our concerns right now.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. I was here sorting out some stuff, and suddenly I hear, "Greetings, is anybody here?" And I'm like standing there and I'm like, holy fucking shit.
I told Rory about the encounter with what I believed was the mouthpiece of Warlock. If this sparked some kind of emotional response within Rory, he showed no sign of it. He simply stayed quiet and listened.
I said to them that I wanted some time to think it over, pretty much. So they asked if they could come in. And I was like, we don't really feel comfortable doing this at this time. And they were like, okay, when can you come outside? And I'm like, I don't feel safe doing that. So they pretty much told me that they would leave the serum at the gate and I would be able to come out and get it. And I went out and I got it. I have 4 syringes on me with Warlock's serum as we speak.
4?
Yep, I have them. And I'm thinking this could go to somebody who's actively trying to research the serum. Oh, somebody's opening the door.
It's
D-Mac?
Who's that?
Yo, speak. Feedback.
Enter.
Come in. There's a whole fucking shit ton of mutants out there.
We brought D-Mac up to speed. While retelling the encounter, I made sure to impress on them both the weight of how insignificant our defenses were in the case of a mutant attack.
And I'm like, okay, and then I'm looking around, and they're fucking standing on the roofs of our houses here, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, what is a serum?
Well, the serum apparently turns you into a mutant, one of Warlock's chosen ones.
Right.
I'm thinking we need to like guard it, put it somewhere safe until we can like safely transport it. I'm thinking, are we all agreed? What do you want to do? Like, I was thinking like bring it to like Bastion or Harold, someone who researches it.
Their charitable crusade has probably gone to most of the groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind taking it back to Warlock's home, smashing it on his door.
Oh, good God.
It is my fucking bunker underground. His place is locked up like a bank vault.
Yeah.
True.
I'm thinking about like getting into contact with Harold about this, but I'm gonna call a town meeting tomorrow, and I want Eve here as well, and we'll.
Whereas D-Mac had been somewhat joking about breaking the syringes on the bunker door, I could tell by being Rory's brother for so long that the idea appealed to him a great deal. He was revolted with the fact that we even had it in our possession in the first place, and he just wanted the fucking thing destroyed. Even now, I was willing to bet that he was trying to figure out how he could seek out the other samples that had been scattered among the survivors and go on a one-man hunt to dispose of them too. He hated the mutants and he hated the serum, but in the end, he silently agreed. He did, after all, see the benefit in our plan. The prospect of curing every mutant on Deer Isle was retribution on a scale that was just too tempting to pass up for the brief satisfaction of smashing a few syringes. In the end, it was decided that we would take the serum to anyone who could use it in their research to countermand the substance.
Alright, guys, get some sleep. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yep.
Night night, boys.
What do you have to offer?
That night, my sleep was tumultuous, with my subconscious once again revisiting the nightmare I'd had when Dex passed away. However, this time, it intermingled with genuine memories, making it all the more disturbing.
Hurry up.
Yeah. All right. Dex.
For Dex.
For Dex.
He's also a mutant. Had to be done.
I don't. No!
That nightmare would herald the day when my life changed forever. Despite being somewhat rattled, I made ready to meet up with the others. After the encounter during the night, I made sure to not take any chances and donned the old army gear we'd stolen from the Pathfinders. As Rory showed up, I noticed he wasn't taking any chances either. In addition to his army gear, he'd wrapped up his head in a protective shemagh. It looked a little funny, but I didn't want to say anything. Maybe last night's events were simply getting to him. They sure as hell were getting to me, so I decided to give him a break. We were now at a state of high alert, so I couldn't really fault him for being overprotective. While waiting for Eve and D-Mac to show up, Harold and his associate came by the gate, and we eagerly went over to exchange information about last night's ominous event. I also wanted to see if I could hand over the serum to him and be done with it. Rory had gone out and met up with him first, and was talking with Harold as I joined them, but he fell silent as I approached. No doubt because he always let me do the talking.
I got a heads up for you and Robin. A lot of people took those syringes that were handed out last night without knowing what the hell was going on. And you're probably gonna see a bunch of people popping up with rotten skin or green skin next 72 hours with no fucking idea what's wrong with them.
We were just gonna talk about you. We wondered if we, like, are you still planning on, like, reverse engineering the serum?
The main group at Lamplight is planning on reverse engineering, maybe trying to form a cure, something like that, yeah.
A Lamplight?
There's a good number of samples we've secured for them. We work closely with Lamplight, actually. Good friends with Charon.
I gotcha, alright.
We told Harold about how we'd been visited by the Grim Crusade as well, and how we'd been given the serum just like many others.
We were thinking about handing our sample over to you, but you're saying Lamplight is the place to go?
I could get it to Lamplight, me and Ben. We live not too far from them right now, and, well, we both work with them pretty extensively.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, hold on. Take this one and get it away from me.
Wait, let me secure in this. Make sure I don't fucking accidentally jab someone on me with.
I handed one syringe over to Harold, and he gratefully accepted it, stating that it would be a great help up at the Ark. I noticed Rory looking at me, but saying nothing. Despite that, I could feel his accusing question. Why didn't I hand over all the syringes? In truth, I didn't understand it myself, but something inside me told me that I'd better hang on to the amount I could hang on to. You never knew what these could mean in the future. And I still had questions to be answered. The question about the mutant mind, a question which had tormented me for so long. How much of a person remains? I suddenly blinked when I realized that I'd stumbled onto a very dark way of thinking. The fact that I considered me keeping the serum to be able to somehow provide me with answers startled me. I wasn't even aware of how my own thought patterns had traveled to come to such ways of thinking. Following it to its logical conclusion meant using the serum to attain knowledge, and that was out of the question. I mean, what was I gonna do? Start experimenting with it? Grabbing people off the roads? Becoming Warlock 2.0? Of course not. I simply kept the rest as insurance, bargaining chips, things like that. Anything else was just nonsensical, intrusive thoughts. I mean, it had to be.
Watch yourself when these people start showing up with green skin or deadened skin. You'll be able to tell because flies will start flying around them when they're in their first stage. They aren't connected to the collective, as far as I can tell. I don't know what Warlock's playing at by making it like this. But definitely watch yourself. Not all the people who took this are gonna be fucking clueless. And some of them might resort to trying to eat you guys, from what I...
Yeah, I gotcha. Do we know if they're as tough as the original strain?
I know. They won't be as tough, I can guarantee you that.
Okay.
They'll be around our size, they'll look pretty much exactly like us.
Okay.
Well, at least in terms of stature. There's bound to be physical change.
I gotcha. Yeah. It's good to know that it's in good hands now, at least.
We'll get this to Charon.
Good.
A lot of these people are gonna be fucking victims, because people don't really think about what they're doing. A lot of these people didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find something to reverse the effects for them.
I hope so, too. Definitely.
Best of luck to you, and Robin?
Yeah.
If you see anyone considering injecting themselves with this shit, warn them off. Do what you have to do to stop. But it's really fucking bad what it does to people I've seen.
I gotcha.
They do not look good. We'll be off.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man.
You guys take care. You need any help? Ammo, bullets, anything? You let us know.
Yeah, Godspeed.
Hello.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was interesting.
Hi.
Hey.
You can put that away now.
At last, Eve showed up, and she'd brought with her someone whom we didn't recognize. Having been slightly caught off guard by this, as it happened right when Bastion took their leave, both me and Rory eyed the newcomer warily.
Connor, you can put that away now.
Who is this?
This is my friend. He's harmless.
Ah, now I remembered. Eve had mentioned this guy previously.
I haven't seen him in a while, but I could see if he's around.
Is he trustworthy?
Very.
Okay.
He always had my back.
Okay. Well, yeah, sure.
Since I came to the island, I met him, and he's had my back ever since.
Okay.
The axe that you have in your hand, dude.
I'm not a
Battle
one.
axe. Sorry. This is my friend. Who's that's running away?
That was Harold and some other guy. Oh, this guy? That's Rory. He's running after...
Rory running away.
I don't know. I think he's got... maybe he needed to tell Harold something.
Oh.
Anyway, nice to meet you, Connor.
Nice to meet you, though.
Let's go to the gazebos. Let's have a sit down.
Yeah, let's have a sit down because I have something to show you.
All right. Yeah, we have some things to talk about as well.
Look what I just picked up.
Let me see. Oh, we got a predator. Ah, nice, nice.
I told Connor he could help himself to something from the minibar, and then proceeded to sit down and asked him about who he was.
So Connor was your name. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Even I sort of just ran into each other and I've just been grappling with her because I don't really have that much else to do.
Okay.
Now this would be what we in olden days would call a drifter. Connor didn't really seem to be aware of much of what was happening on the islands, or even his own origins, probably due to amnesia or some other form of brain trauma, but he was apparently dedicated to staying by Eve. She had assured me that he was both trustworthy and loyal almost to a fault. This was all I needed to hear. Honestly, with everything we'd been through these last couple of days, we needed more people, and as such, I preliminarily welcomed him to Burleyville, noting that we'd need the full settlement to agree to it formally. Afterwards, I took him aside and asked him about his history with Eve. There could be conflicts in the future if all cards weren't on the table, so I wanted him to be frank with me.
Alright, so what's the story between you and Eve? Are you like, do you have history or?
Sort of. I just sort of ran into her and we've just been traveling.
Alright, no, I meant like, you know, like history. If you're like, if you, come on, man, you know what I mean.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, come on, man. Do I need to spell it out for you?
Have you like been like together before or something like that? Are you an ex?
No. Actually.
So no hanky panky before?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
There you go. After all was said and done, I began wondering where Rory had gone off to.
A little bit worried about my bro.
A most unwelcome thought had crept into my head ever since I saw Rory running after Harold without a word. I kept telling myself that it was ridiculous, but it wasn't going away. What if Rory had run after Harold to inform him of the syringes I'd kept? No, he wouldn't go behind my back like that. I mean, I knew Rory despised the substance, but would he really do such a thing without first discussing it with me? And he would actively be going behind my back to snitch on me, his own brother. Furthermore, all it risked would be suspicion from Harold, putting a dent in our friendship, and it would also drive us apart as brothers. If he'd only give me a chance to explain, I was sure he'd see the benefit in my reasoning for holding on to what might become a precious resource for future research. Purely counteractive research, of course. We headed out to see if we could find where Rory had gone, but we didn't get far before we ran into Michael and the Arbiters.
Hey, Robin.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I'm Eve.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've met you guys yet.
Yeah, Eve's joined our community. And that is Connor.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, man.
Hello, Connor.
I was trying to find my brother. He headed off in this direction. You know, you've seen him?
He ran back that way.
Yeah, he ran straight that way.
Have you got a Shinigami and a G36?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
We gotta ask you something. Did you experience something weird yesterday, like last night?
A lot of mutants ended up coming out and handing out syringes, but
yeah, really creepy, and yeah, they're talking about like Warlock's gift to the world. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Take it easy with the preaching, you know?
So you guys don't fuck with that shit, dude?
Oh, God, no. I mean, I want to stay all natural, you know?
I was told that Rory partook.
What?
You should check him out. Harold said he had flies all over him.
Nah, he would. He wouldn't.
Not willingly. Apparently.
Huh.
Yep. I didn't get to talk to Rory, but Harold was just talking to him before he ran off. He likes to just run away from us anytime we pull up, which is kind of funny. But
okay.
He dipped out, and then Harold told me that somebody held him hostage and made him take the syrup.
No. Clearly that's not possible. No, he would have said something. These guys were obviously mistaken. I don't know who these arbiters were trying to fool. If this was some kind of a sick joke, but I wasn't appreciating this one bit. There's absolutely no way. Not Rory. Never.
Oh, good God. Okay. Yeah, we are gonna have to
Well,
find
the
him.
ghillie suit guy just ran that way too, so...
Was that one of yours?
Probably looking for him. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I'm sorry, that's what? Who?
Mort.
Mort. Okay.
Mort. Oh, okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We call him Mort. Alright, we're gonna keep moving.
Alright, well,
Alright,
thanks
well,
for the
thank you
info.
for that information.
And take care.
No problem.
Bye, you guys.
No way. No way. Not my bro. He couldn't have.
One way to find out.
God damn it. Alright, well... Yeah. Okay, fine.
We had to find Rory. He would be able to confirm that the Arbiters were lying their asses off. You know, it just goes to show I was right about the Arbiters all along. Bunch of lying sacks of... Fuck. Rory had been wearing a head wrap covering up his entire face. And he'd been talking with Harold about encountering people before he fell silent on the road, playing into the Arbiter's claims that he'd been taken hostage. But it's not possible. It's not possible. He would have fucking said something. Fuck!
Bro, you here? No, I don't think he's here. I'm gonna check at his house.
He's over here.
Bro, you in there?
Hello.
Yep. Give me just a moment.
As we came up to his house, Mort was already there, having wanted to track Rory down as a gesture of goodwill. As Rory emerged out of his house, this time I could hear for myself the flies loudly buzzing around him, something which made my heart sink even lower. As we approached, Mort respectfully took his leave to allow us to confront Rory as both family members and fellow faction members. This was our problem, and not for anyone else to deal with.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Alright. Give me just, I gotta put this.
Gotta talk to you after that, bro. We met the arbiters on the bridge.
Yep, that's all.
And they told us that you'd been running off with Harold, and they've been talking about that you seem to be...
Damn, I couldn't even say it.
Well, with the serum, there's a lot of flies flying around a person. And...
They did say that. I haven't bathed. I just haven't bathed. That's it. I stink. And look at my face. Yeah, I'm okay.
Was he trying to lie? To me?
Let's go over here.
As we moved into the compound so as to not be disturbed, I could feel that my hands had started shaking again.
Oh, it's definitely him. He's got flies on him everywhere.
It can't be. Not my bro.
I needed to hear it. I wanted him to say it.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Just some guys. They just ejected me. Probably give me call. I don't know.
What? How? When?
Rory finally cracked, retelling how he'd been ambushed that morning by strangers clad in all black. He tried to fight them off, but they'd eventually gotten the upper hand. They'd forcefully held him down, while one of them had injected him with something, which apparently all the evidence was telling us had been Warlock's serum. As I was hearing this, I fell silent. I just stood still, mouth open, eyes glazed over. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My brother, the mutant.
I don't know who the fuck they were. Fine, you know what? Fucking kill me. Fucking kill me. Fucking kill me.
As Rory lashed out at me in anger and despair, we ended up at each other's throats. He landed hits on me out of misdirected self-loathing, desperately trying to goad me into ending him. But my own rage grew in response, as the incredible turmoil of emotions I felt at Rory's situation was topped off by the outrage at my brother for willfully deceiving me and not trusting me enough to tell me about this. And I fought back as I lashed out with an anger of my own, raging against this turn of events, tears streaming down my cheeks. Why? Why had it come to this?
Do any of you have rope?
I do.
Climb the fuck up!
Fucking do it.
He's off of you.
I can't. I can't.
I did what I had to do.
It's only right. Remember Dex. Remember what I did to him at the bullet in his fucking head. You do the same for me.
Have you done?
Bro, I can't.
It's a mercy. You know that. Just fucking get it over with.
Oh no, not him. Not now, please.
He's a mutant. He will turn on you.
No, he won't. Don't listen to him.
The little victim Dex. He had no qualms about putting him down. That is how much he values family.
Stop it!
Ah, the irony. He murdered poor Dex for being a mutant. Now, the mutant hater has joined their ranks. That shows you what you need to do. You have no choice. He will come for you. His resolve will be strong. Yours needs to be just as strong.
Shut up!
Here. Here. No, 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 no! Here. 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 No, 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 no.
It's
no,
what
there's a
he
here.
wants.
I know that there has to be.
It's what
They're working on it. No, 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 please.
At the very last second, Eve took my shaking hands and averted the gun from the temple of Rory's head. With a trembling voice, she reminded me in desperation that all hope was not lost. Both Glenn and Harold had talked about reverse engineering the serum, and Lamplight had been confirmed to be working on a possible cure. However, my heart was still heavy. I'd seen firsthand what would happen to those injected with the serum, and any possible cure was still just theoretical. Rory would most likely have changed long before any progress would have been made. What's to say that any mutations in my brother would not kill him outright? This was not a natural evolutionary change, and my brother was in danger of succumbing to whatever twisted designs that Warlock had dreamt up in his mad schemes for a new humanity. I'd almost come around to Rory's way of thinking, seeing it as a mercy to end his suffering before it began. But I'd not had it in me. When push came to shove, once again, I failed to act. I couldn't kill my brother even as he begged me to do it. I'd failed him once again. In fact, I'd had it all wrong. I'd thought there was a risk that Rory would betray me. What a fool I'd been. And here I was, almost ending his life for something that he had been forced to endure at the hands of others. My mind was reeling. I almost couldn't even hear when Eve stepped up and decided what to do.
We're gonna move. We're moving. We're moving to Lamplight. Over towards Lamplight. Rory, did you hear me? We are moving to Lamplight. Or closer to Lamplight. This is what I need to do. I need to get us situated somewhere near Lamplight in Waldoboro. So we all need to go to Waldoboro. We need to pick up and move.
I don't know if I can... I want to help him, but...
Eventually, it was decided that we'd escort Rory under guard up to the Ark, where we hoped they would eventually be able to cure him, or at the very least, keep him confined in order to prevent him from hurting himself or anybody else. We just had to wait for DMAC to get back from a round trip he was making, as we'd need all hands on deck for this. As it happened, it would take till nightfall until DMAC got back, and we kept Rory under close surveillance for the last hours of sunlight that remained that day. None of us wanted to leave him alone. We'd heard Rory's bitterness spilling over into resentment. He had to know that we just wanted the best for him. Even so, he began issuing threats to Connor, and I had to wonder if this was the mutant serum at work, changing him, making him more aggressive. Personally, I was a wreck. I felt like I was going to lose it. For the past months, tragedies and stressful events had relieved each other in turns, to the point where I was just a broken husk, staring the 1,000-mile stare into nothing, my thoughts harrowing me relentlessly, egged on by my fears, which by now had full control over me. Before departure, Eve looked at me and walked over.
Look, I know how tough this is for you, baby, but I really think that it'd be best if you stayed behind. Let me deal with this. Let me get him situated. Let me find him a safe place to stay.
But I gotta go with you.
I can tell. I know. I can tell you're... If you want to go with me, but you're also very... Because of what happened with your cousin, you're very emotional. If something were to happen, I can't have you around, hun. If he were to turn on us and we had to do something, or if he turned on us and he killed us, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want you to see that. So this is what we'll do, okay? We will come and get you tomorrow, so you can see where we're stationed. Get some rest, or at least try to get some rest, and let us make the hard decisions for once.
I didn't want to.
I know.
I didn't want to see him like this.
None of us did.
Alright. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too. I'm doing this for you, you know.
I know. I know.
Bye.
Bye.
I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. He had to go. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. He had to go. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. 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 He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. Had to go. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. Had to go. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. I did what I had to do. He's also a mutant. Had to go. He's also a mutant. Had to go.
He's also a mutant. He's also a mutant.
He was, wasn't he? If my brother was now a mutant too, should I have killed him? Or did he in fact murder Dex? Had Dex still been human? I don't know. I can't know. He deserved it, right? By his own decree.
Do something, man. If you want this, quick reaction force or response, whatever, I want in, man. I hate him. Alright, well, I'm going to inject you now, but I need you to be aware that if this happens again, if you ever end up coming up my door laughing, or if I catch wind of it, I have 101 ways to kill you.
I don't fucking... Don't! No!
I don't know. I can't know. Dear God. Ma. Pa. Help me. Tell me. I have to know. There was always a chance to lose your mind in these trying times. I'd heard about it, but never seen it up close. I was happy that the current state of affairs hadn't broken me yet, or anyone around me for that matter. But you never knew until you truly went through these trials. And when you did, you better have some kind of buffer to help you along. Though our familiar bonds chafed sometimes, I thank God I had Rory to keep me sane throughout this ordeal. I wouldn't even venture a guess as to how I would have managed without him. Bro, I hope you know I really do love you, man. 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 Love you, man.
He's also a mutant. There was one way to know for sure.
A lot of these people are gonna be fucking victims because people don't really think about what they're doing. A lot of these people didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
They will have little free will. They will have little answer. But they will be eternally damned.
I have to. Forgive me. I have to know. I have to know. And so I ran. I just had to get away from everything and everyone. Through the endless days and nights, I kept going. A moment of weakness and clarity alike had made me a threat to everyone I loved. Now I knew what spirit had meant. Self-exile was the only option. But I had no choice. I had to know. I roamed from town to town, building to building, rummaging around for supplies. On occasion, I'd find something that reminded me of someone back home. Masks for Rory. Books for Eve. After some time, I found myself always returning to and storing my things in an apartment in Westbrook, and it would eventually become my hideout where I could isolate myself in order to understand what was happening to me. In moments of lucidity, I wrote down my thoughts as they managed to coalesce into something coherent. The surrounding area seemed clear, with one exception. A base just behind the apartment building. It seemed abandoned, but the flag was still up, and I could only hope that whoever lived there wasn't averse to neighbors or mutations. As I kept trying to survive from day to day, I stocked up on extra clothes and supplies. Though much of my gear would break from overuse, my body kept breaking in more ways than one. The first few days passed without any noticeable changes. Gradually, the changes would become noticeable and downright severe. It began showing in my skin. It turned into something rotten, necrotic almost. I felt the stench, which attracted flies to me in droves. It made me wretch. Over the course of the following weeks, the change would trigger newfound allergic reactions. The sun was continuously hurting my eyes in a way that it never had before. It forced me to change apparel in an effort to hide from something which I had always taken for granted. The nausea and the pain would wax and wane, but be ever present as an old friend. Even food and drink lost all taste. But somehow, I didn't go hungry. The changes frightened me, but I aimed to persevere. However, my ways of thinking began gradually grow rudimentary and primitive. On one occasion, when I felt the most normal and the pain from joints realigning eased enough for me to do it, I cautiously returned to Burleyville. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I needed closure. Maybe I needed to make sure that it had all been worth it. Maybe I just missed home. Whatever the reason, I nevertheless made sure to remain in the shadows long enough to guarantee that no one was around, ensuring that it was safe to approach the place without putting anyone else in danger.
We did it. I still have my note. A clinic, no less.
To my relief, they seemed to be doing well. The initial settlement had grown into a veritable town. I stood the pain of shedding a burning tear when I saw that they had even made my flag design a reality. The emotions I felt overwhelmed me. Though I knew I could never return, I wanted to leave a message. A message for the one who was still in my heart. A few days later, time finally ran out on me. The mutation was at last proving too much for my body. Something had gone wrong, horribly wrong. My body was fighting a losing battle, and the stress proved too strenuous. I could feel my blood boiling and growth-riddled organs failing on the inside as I fell to the floor through the pain that was overclouding my mind. I knew right then and there that it was all over. Alone and afraid, I would die here and now on account of a fatal miscalculation. As I began bleeding out of my ears and capillaries burst in my eyes, I could feel the chilly hand of death reaching out and grasping me by the ankle, dragging me down into oblivion. Maybe this was for the best. Maybe this is what should have been so long ago. That first bite. The old man. I don't want to. I am Robin.
Friends of the South, I come to you now to tell you that this is how the story ends. In the years to come, D-Mac would be elevated to leader of Burleyville. Though not of the blood, he would keep true to the name of Burley. In a show of respect to the brothers, he had made the decision to adopt Robin's banner concept, a flag flying the colors of white, black, and red, signifying innocence, tragedy, and the Burley bloodline.
Light and memory of one fell,
Black for the grief we feel for the family, red for the blood which the Burleys share, and the vibrant hope within our community.
Eventually, D-Mac would lead the first iteration of Burleyville into an alliance with the Arbiters, for both good and ill. Though unpredictable as always, and without question strange bedfellows even during the best of times, the Arbiters would prove to be valuable allies in the years to come. Eve was never really the same after Warlock's gift had spread across the lands. Robin's disappearance had broken her heart, and she tried her best to continue to carry her role as the moral support, coming to be known as Mama Burleigh among the people who knew and loved her. However, after Eve had found Robin's scribbled message in her house, she'd taken to the road with Connor ever by her side in a determined effort to try and find a lost love and bring him home. For a long time, they searched far and wide, but kept coming up empty. As time went by, she lost contact with the settlement altogether, and as the trail of Robin went cold, her mission eventually evolved into a nomadic lifestyle, traveling the roads, meeting new people, spreading her gospel, and ever continuing on her journey to find peace with God and her past. Though sometimes people she met on her travels would call her by her old nickname, Mama Burleigh, with memories of the brothers always trailing close behind. Rory Burleigh was escorted to the Ark for lamplight to keep under close surveillance. Eventually, it would be revealed by lamplight operatives the Glenn's cover had apparently been compromised, and the collective had made him spill the Burleigh family name under duress. As such, according to lamplight, there was sufficient reason to believe that the ones who had accosted Rory and forcefully injected him had been collective cultists, some form of retribution for daring to oppose the new beginning. What little information regarding his fate after his relocation to the Ark would be sketchy at best. Some say he managed to get his hands on a weapon when the guard wasn't looking, and had shot himself in the detention cell because he couldn't bear the prospect of being what he despised, a mutant. It wasn't until much later when a conflicting rumor began to circulate about how he'd been let out, had a change of heart, and made part of a mission of Harold's to reconcile mutants and humans. But even these sources claim that he'd found his fate at the hands of those he sought to help, as punishment for previously being heavy-handed with other mutants.
The first time I ever met you, you nearly beat me to death.
I never shot you, and I only hit you a couple of times.
A couple of times. I will only hit you a couple of times.
Deserve this.
As such, the fate of Rory was to become the embodiment of that old saying, what goes around comes around. However, regardless of which rumor was true, let no man ever say that Rory Burleigh had not passed away for what he believed in. In a world of sellouts and miscreants, Rory had remained true to his actions even at the point of death, and was hopefully, now, reunited with the lost members of their family once again. As for Warlock, this deranged madman would inevitably find his fate at the hands of his own children. Having a appropriated the same type of telepathic abilities as Warlock after the fateful transfusion, Skylaw's influence over the mutants would grow in power over time until it rivaled that of the Master himself. And finally, at the Battle of the Last Stand, Skylaw managed to link herself to the Alphas that Warlock surrounded himself with for protection. And in a twist of irony, the Master would succumb to his own creations, as Skylar convinced them to attack their creator, a historic action which finally ended his reign of terror on Deer Isle.
You are weak and you know it. We will stand because we have humanity on our side.
I am nowhere near as weak as you say.
No, you whisper what you will get out of my head. You will not control. This control is not yours no further. This ends now. Take him, all of you stalkers, hear me now. End him where he stands.
Yes! Fuck you, Warlock! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah. Fuck you, Warlock! Yes!
Get ready to kill the last one.
God. Nobody died in vain. We all did good.
What do you do about the last two?
Kill him!
And as promised to Dex, Burleyville would be there at the end to see him fall. For the world, however, this was not to be the end. The death of Warlock signaled a new era. Burleyville was now an established settlement, and though it would both rise and fall on multiple occasions over the course of the next few decades, in the end, it would still be there, in one form or another. Thus, the name of Burley lived on after the brothers themselves were long gone. And one generation later, standing firm as one among equals and coming to be led by a leader once again bearing the name Burley, the daughter of an old religious crone, with the father left a mystery. The colony would far down the line become an integral piece of the joint effort by the factions still standing to finally root out the Zulu contagion across the lands. A campaign which would see creepers put down, Kuru patients cured, mutations reversed, the legacy of the collective defeated, and the union of survivors at last kickstarted the second age of humanity when they would reignite power, repurpose infrastructure, and rekindle civilization. In another 25 years, the human population wipe out enough creepers to the point where a true uniform society would once again see a new dawn without the need for walls, and humanity would find itself recovering from the outbreak on a global scale. It would once again assert itself as the dominant species, having risen from the pain of the past and learned its lessons for the future. With new generations reaping the rewards that the survivors had worked so hard to achieve, hope would reign supreme once again. But Robin Burley would see none of this. His fate was to fall at the side of the road, just another indirect casualty of Warlock's machinations driven mad during the post-fall Dark Ages. No one knew what truly happened to him. Perhaps he really had died, his pulmonary system corrupted beyond repair by the vile serum, causing blood to clot irregularly, leading to his death, and certifying that his one true purpose in life had been to contribute to a better world, posthumously, existing as a symbol brought forth in the name which furthered a cause. Or perhaps the serum simply vitrified his brain pattern until he couldn't recognize himself or his identity anymore. Regardless, with his last act, he had gotten his answer to the question he'd always posed. Were mutants really gone, or did they retain a piece of themselves? Whatever the answer was to that question, it had been his to keep and to cherish until the very end. However, they do say that some nights, when the winds die down and you listen carefully in the thick, pitch-black darkness of the forest, you can still make out in the distance a tormented whisper endlessly repeating the name of the one who disappeared. No longer the voice of the